And those hands go down. The umpire will be on their feet right now and will drop that flag. So this is the Remenham Challenge Cup. It's Waiariki against Nereus Triton Lage from the Netherlands.
Go!
Crews get away. Really short strokes from this Netherlands crew. What do you think?
Yeah, at the start you just need to be short and punchy and strong, putting everything you can through the foot plate, as many strokes as possible per minute, and just try and get ahead.
Yeah, well, as you say, they were really short-looking strokes getting away compared to now. We look at this real length from this New Zealand crew. We come right up to length and moving the boat as far as they can every stroke.
Yeah, it's distance per stroke. It's key.
Yeah, so pretty classy crew from New Zealand. The students combination, we can see them in different kit on the left. Are going to want to try and stay in the race as long as they can. I guess by the opposite tone, the crew from New Zealand in that maroon kit have opened up about a half a length lead. They're coming out the top of the island now, getting into this main body of the race. What sort of things do you think are going to be going on in the crew now?
For the New Zealanders, it'll just be to get into nice pace, nice long and strong. Not excel themselves too much because they might have another 2 races to go. This is a very classy crew in the world right now.
It is a very classy crew, this crew from New Zealand. Been racing on the world stage, come over here from the southern hemisphere and going to spend most of the summer, or the rest of the summer, here in Europe. So as you say, they've got other races to think about in the regatta, other races to think about this summer, but right now they want to stay in the moment, and it looks like there's no let up at all at this stage. They're opening up a lead, and I wonder what's going on in this crew here. They still look pretty tidy to me.
Yeah, it'll be it's a very tidy crew, but they just won't have the horsepower that a leading Kiwi crew will have. They're rowing very well in time, nicely in sync, and looking very loose.
Yeah, they do look loose, they do look smooth. At the moment, they just haven't got quite the same acceleration on it, which is why that crew from New Zealand has been able to move away from them. This crew from the Netherlands, from Nereus, Utrecht, they've had a decent season. They've raced overseas, but look how good these New Zealanders look. Firm, strong in the shoulders, moving beautifully together. No check on that boat, stern staying pretty high out of the water as they pick up each stroke. And they're still going for it. No let up here. No thinking about any future races yet.
No, that's it. And they've just put their world champion pair in there, which is now doubling up for Henley and for Rotterdam. So just to strengthen the 8 and see if they can get a little bit more speed and add a little bit more experience in there to try and get a bit more speed.
Yeah, it's an interesting move that, as you say. So it's Kerry Gowler in the 6th seat. Grace Prendergast has come into the 5th seat. They are the dominant world championship pair. They put them in the middle of this 8, backing up, interestingly, Jackie Gowler, Kerry's sister, sitting in the stroke seat. What sort of impact do you think they would have putting a pair in the middle of an 8 like this?
I think a lot of positive impact because, you know, these girls, they have experience of racing. They're obviously incredibly tough and they can set the rhythm and from the middle of the boat. And these girls can just kind of slot in and try and join that rhythm, which has obviously done so well for them in past races. They said, I spoke to Emma Dyke earlier, and they said they've got the oldies in the middle and the youngsters at the 2 ends, just running the show, they said.
Okay, well, that's Emma Dyke. She sits in the 2 seat with a flame hair in that 2 seat. We can see her. She was a Rio Olympian in the New Zealand Women's 8 in the Remenham that won here back in 2017. Catherine, I'm not sure if that's a race I was meant to mention, but do you want to give us any memories you have of that?
Yeah, a little bit of a soft spot, you know. I was there in that final. I raced against them, and yeah, they beat us, but they were just a faster crew than us, and they went on to get a bronze medal at the World Championship that year.
And this year they'll be looking to get certainly in the medals at the World Championships and really the all-important top 5 places.
That's it. We need to top 5 to qualify for the Olympics this year, so it's all very important. And there's Emma Dyke, you can see her, lovely orange hair.
Yeah, and they look pretty smooth now, as you say. They were really powerful, no let up in the early stages. Now we can see they've just let the stroke rate come down a bit. You see that real sort of feeling of sort of pause and patience around the finish, and then let the boat just run underneath them now. So we've got this shot here, and you can see just how big this lead is. The crew from the Netherlands are still working really hard. They're not going to have any sort of wind down or let up themselves. They'll keep the pressure on as much as they can. But as we can see, the crew from New Zealand on the left have got a pretty decent lead. We'll take a look down here at the faces. And again, they're still moving pretty smoothly in the Netherlands crew. It's just not quite the same acceleration and power.
Well, they're student combo, and they just won't have, they'll be, you know, in education and won't have the full-time training that the Kiwis are doing.
We see the New Zealand crew on the right. It's Caleb Shepherd in the stroke seat, a male cox here at Henley, and of course now male cox is allowed at the World Championships as well, within and vice versa, female cox men's boats. What do you think it'll mean in terms of doubling up here at Henley? Do you think the pair might double up also at the World Championships?
I mean, I don't know if they're going to double up for the Worlds. I mean, I guess it'll see how they do at Rotterdam. They might because they need to get top 5, and so I think they came 4th or 5th at the last World Cup, and you know, without Romania there, they need to find some more speed if they're going to qualify for the Olympics.
Well, like you say, it's a massive thing to get these 8s qualified for the Olympic Games. All the countries are going to want to do it. To make that, you have to get in the top 5, so you can understand the need to put a world champion pair who are probably going to qualify whatever they do in the 8. But it'll be a question that the New Zealand selectors and probably selectors in other countries will be thinking about, what they might do to strengthen up their 8s for this year, and then maybe go for some slightly different tactics if they make it to Tokyo next year.
And so the cox Caleb, he was the cox for the Kiwi men's 8 last year, and so they've just done a switch, the two coxes. So he's now coxing the girls, and the other cox is coxing the guys.
Well, it's a good idea, isn't it? I guess sharing the knowledge and sharing the experience. The New Zealand team work well together. As we see this crew from the Netherlands, Nereus and Triton Lage, coming down towards our commentary position, doing everything they can. But the crew from New Zealand, very calm, very much in control. This picture from the progress board. They come in front of their grandstand. 1 or 2 people haven't quite made it back from lunch by the looks of things. That will fill up as the afternoon goes on. And commanding row by this crew from New Zealand, racing here as the Waiariki Rowing Club. They cross the line in front, and they will have a chance to stop, relax, and see the crew from the Netherlands crossing the line behind them. And we will see confirmation of that win in the Remenham for the crew from Waiariki Rowing Club in New Zealand.